Jemi sot këtu në shtëpinë e kulturës Koçoracin, sepse ka ardhur një person shumë i rëndësishëm, një shkencëtar, i cili quhet Semir Osmanagic, për të na treguar pak më tepër për historinë e vendit tonë. Ai ka vizituar, disa vende këtu në Maqedoni, për të na treguar se sa të lashtë jemi, sa antik jemi. Ai është edhe zbulues i piramidave në Bosnjë, do na tregoj vetë më tepër për çfarë bëhet fjalë. It's really nice to have you.
Thank you very much.
You have discovered the Bosnian Valley of Pyramids. For those that haven't heard, what are those pyramids?
Back in 2005, I first came to central Bosnian town of Visoko. Before that, for 25 years, I had been researching pyramids all around the world. My PhD, my doctorate, was about the Mayan pyramids. And I learned that the majority of the pyramids in the world are covered by soil and vegetation. Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Belize, China, and so on. They are not like Egyptian pyramids in desert. So I came to this Bosnian town and I could see perfect geometrical shape of the pyramid. 4 sides, triangular faces. I took compass showed me perfect orientation, east, west, north, south. And even though it was covered by soil and forest, I knew it was artificial structure. In the last 16 years, this has become the most active archaeological site in the world. Every year, hundreds of volunteers, our workers, independent researchers have been working in Visoko, uncovering the pyramid, discovering big concrete blocks that covers the pyramid. The concrete is better quality than what we can make today. We discovered 6 pyramids. The biggest pyramid, the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, is bigger than the Great Pyramid of Egypt. Our pyramid is more than 300 meters. Egyptian, 146. Below the Bosnian Valley of the Pyramids, it's a huge network of underground tunnels. So far, we have cleared and secured for visitors more than 3 kilometers of those tunnels. We discovered 6 different entrances. People go inside, they feel good. They breathe very well. If they have high blood pressure, it comes to the normal. If they have high sugar, the glucose in the blood, it comes to the normal. If they have pains, they are gone. Even some very serious diseases, we can see revolutionary advancement. So we realized that pyramids are not tombs for kings or pharaohs, but they have some energy properties. We started measuring them with different instruments, electromagnetism, electrical fields, ultrasound, infrasound, orgone energy. And our conclusion was that pyramid, with its shape, amplifies natural energy sources, and this energy is very beneficial to us. That's why one of the purposes of the pyramid energy is to improve our health, to protect our health. The second one, we are finding water below the pyramids. That water, no viruses, no bacteria, no fungi, excellent pH, it is 7.45, and it resonates very high. It's like healing water. So pyramid energy improves molecular structure of the water, food, our immunity. So we are doing the pioneering, revolutionary research in Bosnia. And that's why we have so many visitors. 2 years ago, 50,000. Last year, 85,000. This year we're going to go over 100,000. More and more people come. And without the help of the government, museums or funds, our non-profit, non-government foundation called Archaeological Park Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, with a lot of enthusiasm, is creating a revolution in the world of archaeology.
Do you think those that built the pyramid knew the function of it?
Of course they did. We usually think, and that's how they teach us in schools, that 10, 20,000 years ago we were primitive cavemen. And today we are the most advanced, the most beautiful, the most intelligent. Well, we are not. The human history is not evolution. It's cycle after cycle after cycle. In the previous cycluses, the humanity would reach its peaks. The huge catastrophe would come, like 12,000 years ago, the end of the last ice age, and then people would need to start from the beginning. Well, those pyramids in Bosnia, Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, Yonaguni monuments in Japan, Machu Picchu in Peru, they all belong to the previous cycle of humanity. They knew how to shape huge blocks, how to transport hundreds of tons, how to make those beautiful megalithic structures and pyramids, and they were aware that the shape of the pyramid is the best energy amplifier in the world, and they knew location, where to place it, above underground water flow, iron plates, quartz crystal, and they were getting very intensive energies.
Do you think people that nowadays know the function of the pyramids, are they interested? Because I know that you have written 18 books that are translated in many languages. Are people interested nowadays to know about the function of those pyramids?
Most of the people are not interesting because the modern archaeology and history is rather boring. They are saying, oh, pyramids in Egypt, they were tombs for the pharaohs, without a single proof. In Egypt, there are 155 pyramids, not a single mummy. So where are the mummies? In the Valley of Kings, not in the pyramids. So the function was something different. The same goes for the Mayan pyramids, for the pyramids in Peru and China and Mexico and Australia, Gympie Pyramid, Cambodia, Indonesia, Mauritius, Sudan. These are all places with the pyramids. And archaeologists do not have engineering mind. They don't think about the energies. We need to open those projects for physicists, electrical engineers, sound engineers, medical doctors, geophysicists. It has to be interdisciplinary scientific approach, and then we will understand. Why is it important today? Well, look, for example, our concept of energy. For energy, we use coal from 200 years ago, dirty industry. Nowadays, oil and gas. Again, dirty industry and limited resources. Nuclear energy, from Chernobyl to Fukushima, it still radiates. It's still poisoning us, so not good choice. And all these energy sources, the money, the profit goes in the hands of less than 1%. And this is the industry today. Imagine if you have structures, pyramids, that amplifies natural energy sources. It is beneficial, not bad frequencies, not limited, it's clean, it's free. If we go to a certain extent to the pyramid energy, then we would make revolution in the world. It will be less poverty and less billionaires.
Do you think that institutions, countries will be more interested in the future to know more about the pyramids and maybe to use them more?
Not elites, because they have certain knowledge. They don't want the public to know about that. That's why it's important to start from the bottom, from the base. The public needs to be aware. Instead of wasting so much time on our cell phones, on our mobile phones, playing certain games or taking photos for Instagram, why don't we use it and go deep and learn more about the ancient history?
I know that you have visited some places here in North Macedonia, Kokino. We have heard a lot of legends about Kokino and other places. What have you discovered?
Well, Macedonia has some very important, actually major megalithic sites. Kokino with Jovica Stankovski, who discovered it in 2001, and who had a lot of obstacles. All archaeologists and historians and geologists were against him in the beginning. Only when he got recognition by the astronomers from Greece, they realized that they have megalithic observatory here. So people in Neolithic times, Neolithic, it means, new stone age, 4,000 years ago. I think it's probably more than, maybe 6,000 years ago. That's my opinion. They knew how to follow very important dates for sun. Winter solstice, December 22nd, or summer solstice, June 21st, because during those cycluses, the sun goes from one point to another and then it goes back. So what they were doing, they were shaping volcanic stone, enabling that sun only that day can be fully seen. Every other day it is a little bit left or to the right. So it means that they were painstakingly watching the movement of the sun, which means it's observatory. Kokino is one example. The second one is Tsotsev Kamen, which is nearby, maybe 30, 40 kilometers. So from one huge volcanic hill, they shaped two platforms from where they were also watching the movement of the sun. And also they were showing that they knew cardinal points, east, west, north, south, perfectly. Now, this is calendar, astronomy and calendar. It means they were not primitive. If you are primitive, then on daily basis you are fighting for food and the water against the animals. But if you have such sophisticated knowledge, it's not a primitive society. So you have to be really honored by those people. And the third location, very important, is called Kanda, Kanda Hill and Kanda Geoglyph. Geoglyph, it's a very powerful symbol. When it comes to communication, sometimes we communicate using signs. Sometimes we communicate using letters. We have alphabets. That's second level, above. The third level are the symbols. One symbol has very complex meaning. And the fourth, the highest level, are energy symbols. Meaning, if you stamp those symbols in a landscape, it affects the energy of the place. And thanks to our instruments, we have measured it's very powerful energetically. People with such level of knowledge are not primitive. So, this is all in Macedonia, but I must say the whole Balkan region is the region where the civilization started after the end of the last ice age 12,000 years back. So, for example, 5-6 years back, I was in Albania. Albania was closed country for decades, but when I saw the photos or some sites, I'm not talking about ancient Rome or ancient Greece, it is very recent, 2,000 years, 2,200 years. But when I saw some megalithic walls, it is between 5,000 and 8,000 years. Unfortunately, all our history books start with ancient Greece and ancient Rome. Why? Because these are foundations of, Western Europe, civilization. But we have something which is much more older. And ancient Greece and ancient Rome, they were destroying all these sites. So it was like cultural genocide or cultural sites. They were destroying the cultural heritage of us, of our people from the Balkan region. So what I'm saying, why don't we independently research and verify what we have here? Because for the longest time, our history has been written from Berlin and London and Vienna and Vatican.
Thank you so much for this interview. It was a pleasure.
Okay, thank you very much.